Hey Homespot friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are turning a tiny courtyard into a magical winter garden using reclaimed and natural materials only. If you love cozy, eco-friendly decor and want big atmosphere in a small space, stay tuned and get inspired to transform your own corner of the outdoors this winter. In this tiny courtyard, the old pallet wall becomes the heart of a cozy winter garden. Reclaimed wood boards frame a collection of simple mason jars, each glowing softly with a warm candle flame. Evergreen branches, pine cones, and a light dusting of snow soften the rough textures. The lanterns create a gentle rhythm of light across the wall, transforming a small outdoor space into an intimate winter retreat that feels handcrafted, sustainable, and quietly magical. Imagine stepping into a narrow courtyard where a simple firewood station steals the show. Sturdy reclaimed beams and pallet planks hold neatly stacked logs, turning basic storage into rustic decor. Sprigs of pine peek between the wood, while a strand of warm fairy lights wraps around the frame. Snow gathers on each surface, adding contrast to the deep browns of the timber. The whole corner feels practical yet beautiful, like a tiny winter lodge tucked into the city. In this compact courtyard, an old wooden ladder leans casually against a weathered wall, reinvented as a vertical winter display. Each rung supports a mix of potted evergreens, small lanterns, and clusters of pine cones. The wood shows years of use, with chipped paint and worn edges adding character. A few gentle string lights weave around the steps, reflecting in tiny glass ornaments. This simple, upcycled piece turns an used space into a charming focal point rich with height and texture. At the entrance of this little courtyard, an arch made from twisted branches welcomes visitors into a winter haven. The structure feels organic and slightly wild, with uneven lines and natural curves. Fresh evergreen clippings are tucked all along the frame, tied with simple jute bows that sway gently in the cold air. A few subtle fairy lights glimmer between the needles. Even in such a narrow space, the arch creates a sense of arrival, turning a simple doorway into a woodland gateway. In this tiny courtyard, old metal buckets and dented watering cans find a new life as winter planters. Their worn surfaces carry rust, scratches, and faded colors that tell stories of years in the garden. Each container overflows with spruce branches, holly leaves, and bright red berries, providing texture and contrast against the cold stone floor. Arranged at different heights on reclaimed crates, they form a layered, flexible display. The setting feels humble yet rich, proving winter decor can be both simple and striking. Picture a narrow courtyard where a handmade pallet bench becomes the perfect winter resting spot. Reclaimed planks are stacked and sanded just enough to sit comfortably, still showing knots and nail marks. Thick, weather-resistant cushions and folded wool blankets add softness and warmth. A low crate serves as a rustic side table, holding candles in jars and small pinecone clusters. Around the bench, potted evergreens create a green frame, turning even the smallest outdoor corner into a welcoming winter lounge. This tiny garden comes to life with a simple garland stretching across a reclaimed wooden fence. Pine cones, dried orange slices, and small wooden beads are strung together with twine, forming a natural, handcrafted chain. The oranges glow like tiny suns against the cool winter tones, while the pine cones add earthy texture. Snow gathers lightly on the fence and decor, softening every edge. The design feels light, playful, and completely achievable, transforming a blank wall into a warm seasonal backdrop. In this small courtyard, cut logs stand proudly like natural columns scattered across the ground. Each varying height supports a different winter feature: a lantern, a pot of evergreens, a bundle of dried grasses, or a sculptural branch arrangement. Snow highlights the rough bark and flat tops, adding sharp contrast to the deep tones of wood. Together, the pedestals create a simple yet dramatic landscape, layering vertical interest without permanent structures. The result is flexible, organic, and deeply textural. Here, a tiny courtyard is filled with delicate shapes hanging quietly in the cold air. Stars and snowflakes crafted from simple twigs are tied together with twine, each piece slightly imperfect and unique. They dangle from pergola beams and low branches, shifting gently with any breeze. Lanterns below cast warm light upward, throwing intricate shadows onto nearby walls. This handmade decor feels playful and poetic, turning basic garden waste into a constellation of natural winter ornaments overhead. In this intimate courtyard, winter becomes a celebration of subtle color and structure. Pots are filled with dried hydrangeas, feathery ornamental grasses, and tall seed heads, then layered with fresh evergreen sprigs for contrast. The muted browns, creams, and faded blues sit beautifully against crisp snow and cool stone. Lanterns tucked between the containers add gentle light, highlighting shadows and silhouettes. Even without fresh blooms, the garden feels rich and artistic, honoring the beauty of plants beyond their growing season. This tiny courtyard finds height and drama in a simple stack of old wooden crates. Arranged in a slightly irregular tower, each open side becomes a small display window filled with pine cones, candles in jars, tiny evergreen pots, and handmade ornaments. Snow settles on the crate edges, while a string of warm lights winds through the structure, guiding the eye upward. The tower turns an unused corner into a vertical gallery of winter treasures made entirely from reclaimed and natural materials. In a narrow outdoor space, a rustic branch fence creates both privacy and atmosphere. Thin, flexible branches are woven between reclaimed wooden posts, forming an organic screen with gentle curves and gaps. Snow catches in the spaces, outlining the natural pattern. In front, a few lanterns and winter planters stand out against the textured backdrop. The fence feels like it grew there naturally, softening hard walls and making the courtyard feel sheltered, handmade, and closely connected to the surrounding landscape. Against one side of this small courtyard, a reclaimed pallet has been transformed into a generous winter planter. Its open slats hold soil, moss, and winter-hardy plants layered together with branches and decorative stones. Evergreen sprigs spill out between boards, while a delicate string of lights glows within the foliage. Snow collects along the top edge and in small pockets, emphasizing the structure. The pallet turns an otherwise flat wall into a living, textural feature that makes the most of every centimeter. In this compact garden corner, warmth and texture meet around a simple metal fire bowl. Old stones are arranged in a loose circle, with short, chunky logs placed as rustic stools. Flames cast a golden glow on nearby potted evergreens, reclaimed wood pieces and snow-covered ground. The setting feels like a tiny outdoor living room where friends can gather, despite the cold. Every element is raw and natural, making the fire the glowing heart of this modest winter retreat. This small courtyard embraces a more artistic side of winter decor with a handmade hanging mobile. Pieces of driftwood and branches form the main structure, suspended from an overhead beam. From each piece, pine cones, feathers, and small natural ornaments hang at different lengths. The mobile moves gently with each gust of cold air, catching light from nearby lanterns. Shadows dance across the walls, turning the space into a quiet, contemplative gallery that celebrates found objects and simple craftsmanship. Along the edge of this tiny courtyard path, recycled glass bottles stand like glowing sentinels in the snow. Each bottle holds a string of warm lights or a single candle, causing the glass to shine in soft greens, ambers, and clears. The illuminated row outlines garden beds of evergreens and moss, while reclaimed wood planters rise behind them. The effect is whimsical yet elegant, transforming everyday waste into a striking winter border that leads the eye through the entire small space. Thank you so much for watching, Homespot friends. Today you saw how reclaimed wood, old containers, and simple natural elements can turn even the smallest courtyard into a warm, inviting winter garden. If these ideas sparked your creativity, please hit like, subscribe to Homespot for more small space inspiration, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Your support helps this garden-loving community grow.